Hi, welcome to Kiss Me, where we dive into all of our favorite rom-coms. I'm Andy H, and today we'll be talking about Crazy Rich Asians, released in 2018. What we think is your average New York couple. Rachel and Nick are flying to Singapore for Colin, Nick's best friend's wedding, as well as the opportunity for Rachel to meet Nick's family. Rachel is an only child raised by a single mother, slowly begins to realize she has a very different upbringing than Nick. Unknown to Rachel, Nick is one of the most sought-after Singapore bachelors and comes from an extremely wealthy and influential family. Rachel soon encounters the disapproval from Nick's family, mainly his mother Eleanor, and realizes how different both the two worlds are, and tries to navigate her way while experiencing heartbreak. The movie provides the perfect combination of everlasting love, both family and romantic. Huge comedic relief, and of course escapism, living in a world of luxury and bling, bringing the audience to not one, but two proposals. This is definitely one of my favorite rom-coms, and it's on my repeat list if you ever need a good pick-me-up. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment for future films that you want to hear more about. We love the motivation and it keeps us going. Alright, so let's dive in. Crazy Rich Asians is based on the first of 3 book series by Kevin Kwan. Kwan, who optioned the book for $1,
give you $1 for all of this,
can be seen in the Who is Rachel Chu montage. Directed by John Chu, the film is considered to be the first film in 25 years by a major Hollywood studio to feature a majority cast of Chinese descent in a modern setting since the Joy Luck Club. The film has classic nods to the Joy Luck Club, such as the mahjong scene at the end of the film, which actually isn't in the book. In casting, Lisa Liu, who was one of the original mothers in the Joy Luck Club, plays Ama, Nick's grandmother. Crazy Rich Asians was filmed in the spring of 2017 in Singapore, Malaysia, and New York City for a cool budget of $30 million to smash the box office, grossing over $238 million. Since we know the basic premises of the story, let's break down the characters. Rachel, who is played by Constance Wu, is Nick, who is played by Henry Golding, longtime girlfriend, and Carrie's daughter. We'll come back to Nick in a second. Peek Lin, played by Awkwafina, is Rachel's college best friend, who is also the daughter of 2 wealthy parents, mother Nina and father, who is also played by Ken Jeong. Peek Lin also has a couple of siblings, with the most noticeable, which is her brother, PT. Okay, so now back to Nick. We know Nick is Rachel's longtime boyfriend, but Nick's father is called Philip, who we actually never see in the film because he's been away in business. And Eleanor, who is Nick's mom, is played by Michelle Yeoh. Well, we know the matriarch of the family is Nick's grandmother, Ama, cousin Astrid, played by Gemma Chan, who is married to Michael, well, to be later separated, spoiler alert. Cousin Eddie, played by Ronnie Chang, who is unhappily married to Fiona. Cousin Alistair, played by Remy Hai, who is Eddie's brother dating Kitty, who is an actress. And Oliver, played by Nico Santos, is Nick's second cousin. His best buddy Colin, played by Chris Pang, and his fiancée, Araminta, and they're the whole reason we are actually going to Singapore. There's also Bernard, played by Jimmy O Yang, Nick and Colin's former classmate. Oh, and you can't forget Amanda, who is Nick's ex-girlfriend. The casting of the movie was actually a bit controversial. Henry Golding is both of Malaysian and English descent, and he was ridiculed since his heritage was not Chinese Singaporean, in which Golding was quite hurt from the comments, which he mentioned, "I've lived 17 years of my life in Asia, and that's most of my life. I was born in Asia. I lived in cultures that are synonymous with Asian culture, but it's still not Asian enough for some people. Where are the boundaries? Where are the lines drawn for saying that you cannot play this character because you're not fully Asian?" This was actually Golding's first movie. I know, it's hard to believe. And he turned down the audition several times. The director John Chu discovered the tall, handsome, and charismatic former hairdresser.
I tried to get him to cut my hair before I had a little bit of a dramatic moment.
Who met Henry years earlier when he was hosting TV travel shows.
Hello and welcome to the travel show with me, Henry Golding, coming to you this week from Malaysia.
Chu then followed Golding on Instagram and convinced him to audition. And Golding actually had to cut his honeymoon short to do a screen test with Wu. Constance Wu did not accept the role of Rachel at first due to conflict with her role on the TV show Fresh Off the Boat. However, Wu wrote to the director Chu, explaining her connection with Rachel's character, and convinced him to push back the production schedule by 4 months. Alright, so now let's break down some of the locations they filmed at, starting with one of the earlier scenes that sets the luxury tone of the movie just right. Singapore's Changi Airport. which offers more than just
Butterfly garden and a movie theater.
Chungi boasts multiple nap rooms, a 39-foot slide, a 24-hour luggage storage, kinetic sculptures programmed to move to classical music, and a rooftop pool in Terminal 1, just to name a few.
JFK is just salmonella and despair.
Adding this destination to my bucket list. So now for all my foodies out there, one of the best scenes is when Colin and Araminta pick up Nick and Rachel from the airport and bring them to the Newton Food Center. It is a glorious gathering of street food vendors specializing in various delectable food, proving that Singapore should delight all of the Michelin star wannabes that want to save bank. Seriously though, 2 of the least expensive Michelin star restaurants are located here. Liao Fan Hong Kong soy sauce chicken rice and noodle stall landed itself on the star map in 2016, which included the signature chicken rice dish in its inaugural guide, which actually only costs $1.47. Hill Street Tai Wah pork noodles is Singapore's other Michelin star street food stall, known for its fried noodle dish that combines minced meat, seafood, pork, liver, mushrooms, and a small bites of deep fried lard for only $4.50.
The best things in life are free.
Or, well, inexpensive. Tyersall Park, a 19th century estate near Singapore's botanical gardens, served as a backdrop for the Young's ancestral home. The 2 abandoned mansions on the property were architecturally appropriate for the Young residents. However, they weren't quite ready for the close-up on the inside, as it looked like a jungle full of monkey feces. Instead, the interior scenes were shot in one building, and the exterior scenes were shot in another. The famous stuffed tiger caused some rumblings in production. Since they could not actually ship a real taxidermy tiger across international borders, it was made by the prop department. But it was held up in customs since the custom officers actually thought the tiger was real.
It's great!
Here's another hidden gem. When Quan started to write Crazy Rich Asians, he was going through a very dark period in his life and kept a reminder of joy written on post-it notes on his computer. Chu stated that throughout the movie, the entire crew had joy post-it notes on their computers, and if you look close enough, you may even spot them in the movie. The movie is filled with glamorous possessions, including Astrid's gift to her husband Michael at the start, which was a Paul Newman Rolodex Daytona from the 1960s, which was borrowed from a collector and flown around the world with its own bodyguard for a second scene. A similar watch sold in 2017 for around a nice $17.8 million. So let's talk rings. So Michelle Yeoh, who plays Nick's mom Eleanor, who's also known as badasses in other productions such as Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Kung Fu Master.
The hefty jewelry featured in the movie is actually from Yeoh's personal collection. When the prop department suggested the engagement ring that would later be Rachel's, Yeoh disliked it so much that she picked out her own emerald diamond ring from her personal collection, and that was featured in the movie. Talk about crazy rich taste.
Crazy rich.
Talk about choosing what to wear. Let's chat about Awkwafina, who plays Peak Lynn. She admitted that she wanted to steal the blonde bombshell wig that she wore.
Really?
Awkwafina said, "You know why I wanted to take the wig? I wanted to grab it and throw it out the window." Originally, Awkwafina was to wear several different wigs, but they kept her in the one that made her look like
Asian Ellen.
What really puts the comedy in the rom-com is the brilliance of so many comedians in this film with the various improv, including the
Bok bok bitch. Bok bok bitch.
scenes between Rachel and Peak Lynn that were completely improvised. And Awkwafina and Ken Jeong got along so well.
Just started improvising from the first take. It's almost like a jazz improv.
Ken Jeong wanted to be part of the Crazy Rich Asians so badly as a passion project. They was prepared to literally take any role they would give to him.
Whatever you want me to do. It's a dream on top of a dream.
But thank goodness they paired the two together. Crazy Rich Asian entourage Rachel is surrounded with. Sure has to be some drama. We see it stir up when Rachel's on Araminta's bachelor party and Nick's ex and friends put a dead fish on Rachel's bed, symbolizing Rachel's unwelcomeness within the Singapore elite. Rachel bonds with Astrid over the whole bachelorette party mean girl incident, and Astrid confides in Rachel, dishing up her falling apart marriage to Michael, since he's having an affair. We do see Astrid's inner strength much more than the novel, where there's a contrast, where she tries to rekindle her relationship with Michael, whereas in the movie, she's like, "Boy, bye, here's the door." which leaves Astrid's character open for love in the sequel. Nick's family, especially his mother, is not accepting of Rachel. Rachel has more downs than ups trying to win over Eleanor, as we see it over and over again, even being rejected from sitting with Nick's family at Araminta's and Colin's wedding. We see Eleanor's family being slightly impressed by Rachel when she gains fondness from Princess Intan, a new character made up for this movie. But all the fondness is now torn down again when the background check led by Eleanor and Amma on Rachel finds the skeletons that her mother Carrie was not faithful to Rachel's father. Whereas in reality, her original husband was abusive to her, and she took comfort in his school friend that later got her pregnant with Rachel. Fearing that her husband would hurt them if he found out, Rachel's mother fled to America.
There it is, a new home.
At the end of the movie, Eleanor finds the truth and finally accepts Nick and Rachel's relationship to live happily ever after. Unlike the novel, where Nick is disgusted by his mother's behavior and vows to have nothing to do with his family again. Now this rom-com is packed with not only one, but two proposals. First one is by the water between Rachel and Nick in the city, with Rachel turning Nick down. And the second one, again, is between Rachel and Nick, with Eleanor's emerald ring and her blessing, when Nick hijacks Rachel's flight back to New York. Oh wait, no, not that one. Here we go.
Me the happiest man in this world.
If you're craving more Crazy Rich Asians, you might be waiting a while, so you better go pick up China Rich Girlfriend and the third book, Rich People Problems, as these films were previously in development but now on a prolonged hiatus. However, lately there's word of a 2023 release date of the second movie.
Oh my.
The intent was to film both movies back to back in 2020 to reduce wait times, but like as we all know, 2020 had different plans. It wasn't just the pandemic that halted these needed sequels. Co-screenwriter Lim left production on the film sequel following a pay dispute. Lim had reportedly been offered $110,000 by Warner Brothers to pen the sequels, whilst male co-writer has been offered between $800,000 to $1 million for the same role.
That's bullshit.
Interestingly enough, Netflix entered a bidding war with Warner Brothers, who ultimately won the distribution rights because Kwan wanted a theatrical release for fans. However, Netflix greenlit the trilogy, and major paydays were upfront. So you wonder if we'd be reviewing the sequels now if the bidding war ended in a different way, and how the story would have been different with the original screenplay writers doing the second and third film.
I have been waiting to do this properly for so long.
Show us some love. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tag that alert bell to dive into further awkward but sweet encounters of our favorite rom-coms. Also pop in your suggestions of which movies are your favorites. Until then, I'm Andy H, and this is Kiss Me. Hook her up.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my.